Rhinos if they win here. The Castleford Tigers, long journey south in the heat today, and it really is sticky here in the capital. But these are the men that the Tigers hope will do the trick. Flowers at fullback, Wells, Roper, Eager and Price, Healy and Lennon. Some disruption in the forwards because Shaw, he is not here after all, so Dale Fritz will take over at hooker alongside Sykes and Sampson. Smith and Harland comes into the side, off the bench into the second row, and Vowles is the captain. And on the bench, Danny Orr, big chance for him, with Tony Smith injured last night to stake an England claim, Lynch, Goddard and Godwin. And the coach is Graham Steadman. The London Broncos, they had life breathed into their season at Warrington last week. Barnett returns after injury. Sykes, Fleming, Roy and Hules, the French international. Dimmock is the captain and Dennis Moran is the scrum half. And the forwards, Mestrov, Eyre and Cram, Millard, Retchless and Rob Parker. And the substitutes, Toshak, Johnson, Dooley and Gillette. And the coach is Tony Ray. So out come the Castleford Tigers. They lost here 56-0 in 1996. One of just 2 away defeats against the London Broncos over the years. And Adrian Vowles, their captain, well, he is playing here his 12th game in a row. And the Tigers are here in numbers. And out come the London Broncos and their 2 matchday mascots for the evening. Young Lachlan Smith is 6 today and David Mason is 8. It's a big night for these 2, and it's a big night also for the London Broncos as well. Their top 5 ambition is well and truly on the line. They're attracting better crowds here at the Valley this year, the Broncos, and they certainly will as they go charging on towards the playoffs. The mascots led away by the cheer girls, and now the stage is set for a very important match. Steve-O, the most important match of these 2 seasons.
Without a doubt, and the tension will obviously show, especially in the opening few minutes. Very, very hot out there, so sweaty palms, handling conditions will be bad.
Well, before the match, we're going to observe a minute's silence for the former Castleford, Sheffield and Wakefield winger David Nelson, who died in tragic circumstances this week. Well, it's the 12th Super League meeting between these 2 sides, and the most important by a long chalk. 5 wins each and a 12-all draw so far, and what a boost for London in that Richie Barnett, the New Zealand international fullback, returns after injury. It's London Broncos then against the Castleford Tigers. Whoever wins will be 2 points behind Leeds in the race for the top 5. Leeds against Huddersfield on Sunday at the McAlpine. And if you think it's a foregone conclusion for the Rhinos, remember it was only a 52-46 win for them at Headingley earlier this year. We're underway. This is a vital game for both these clubs. Michael Smith to drive it in, and London will surely hunt from the kickoff, and that's exactly what they do. Millard leading the chase.
Well, the London coach Tony Ray was pretty confident all this week. He's made it quite clear to his charges that this is such a vital game.
Knock on here against Lee Harland.
Oh, what a mistake to come up with. Nearly 25 seconds gone on the clock, and he just lost it completely. A little bit of interference there by Glenn Eyre, but not spotted by the official Stuart Cummings.
Dennis Moran feeds. It comes out via Parker to Dimmock. Moran again. Good movement from the Broncos, but a crunching tackle there by Nathan Sykes.
Well, the double switch there, and Sykes picked it well.
Millard to his feet, plays the ball. Here goes Mestrov on the charge, 12 metres away. Graham Steadman, the Castleford coach, knowing the mistake, has given his team some pressure to try and repel in the opening minute, and Rexless was almost through, missed by Vowles, collared though by Harland. Harland can't touch him. Dimmock, the dab through. Fleming has got that.
I think it's there.
Greg Fleming believes he has.
Well, he shrugs his shoulders, does Fleming. Beautiful kick there from Jim Dimmock, well weighted. It bobbled in and around. I'm going to go for TRY on this one.
Can't see the screen here, Steve, so give us a shot what you're doing.
Beautiful little play there. Went on a little foray on the blind side, and the kick was weighted excellent there from Jim Dimmock. And they caught them napping. This is TRY time. What an opener. It all came from that mistake from Lee Harland. And I think that Fleming will be deemed to have had full control of this. Downward pressure is sufficient, and I'm going to go for TRY. That is conclusive for mine. And what a start for the Broncos.
Greg Fleming waits, and I think we know what this is going to be, and a try it is. A lovely kick by Jim Dimmock, a horror start then for the Tigers, and the mistake by Lee Harland has proved very, very costly.
Not enough that they were very slow. This is the mistake that he's just spoken about, but they were slow on the blind side. They were slow to regroup. You could see there that Vowles actually had his back turned to them by the time that Dimmock had set off. Gave him the space and the room. Wonderful kick. Good anticipation. The combination. Dimmock's kick, Fleming, the 4 points. What a start.
Yes, a great start for London Broncos. And 2 tries in last season's defeat at Castleford, but Tony Ray hopes that that is the first of many tries tonight for the side. And what a victory would do here for London season. Indeed, what a victory would do here for Castleford season. The conversion is good. Paul Sykes with the boot. A goal and a drop goal against Warrington last week. What a start for the Broncos. They're ahead here by 6 points to 0.
Look at the Tiger skipper there. Back to the play, the ball. Slow to get in position. Dimmock takes full advantage. And by the time that Vowles realises a mistake, the ball's away off his foot. And Fleming's too quick.
Oh, and the kick-off out on the full, which means it's a penalty on the centre spot to London. Well, poor old Castleford are going through the horrors. Moran with the penalty dumps it into touch, and the Broncos will try and exert more pressure on this Castleford defence. Glenn restarts to Moran. Here now is Dimmock. The runner behind them was Barnett. Long, tall strides of Barnett. Vowles got to him and clawed him down. Now then it's Mestrov again. Another drive into the chest of Harland. This time the defence stands firm.
What a relief it must be for the London coach Tony Ray to have the skills of Richie Barnett back. They certainly have missed him, although Dimmock and Moran have been working in tandem in his absence.
Glenn to Moran. It goes wide to Dimmock. Nice run back on the inside, but Michael Smith was waiting. And the tackle was completed on Rob Parker. This now is Barnett again. And Barnett examining the line on his own. He had Millard in support, but took them on himself. Lost out on that occasion. The dab through by Glenn. Millard's after it. And Harland was able to take the gamble, and the ball ran dead.
Tremendous early tactics. We speak so often about the way that you apply the pressure, and it just niggles and nags the opposition. And it puts them on the back foot all the time. On that occasion, just a little bit too strong in the end. But it's frustrating time for the Tigers at the moment. Not easy to get back into this game.
4.5 minutes gone. They're trailing by 6 points to 0, and they did actually set off early this morning, Steve-O, from West Yorkshire to be here. Now, I know from bitter experience that the motorways were pretty heavily congested coming south today. Well, I wonder whether that will backfire on them.
That really does surprise me. Most of the clubs come down the night before, book into a hotel. That's a wasted kick. Easy taken by the Frenchman.
Boulez, who scored 2 fine tries at Wilderspool last Saturday night. Moran to Nigel Roy now.
Well, the Tigers are all at sea. On the kick-off after the Fleming try, straight to dead in goal, and then the kick there was far too strong.
London keeping it alive. Dimmock's gone for a 40-20 kick downfield, and that just doesn't make the 40-20.
Either way, it's a damn fine kick. He was under a lot of pressure, not impressed by it. In fact, when he made contact, you'll see the ball is spinning backwards. He really wanted to get a little bit more hoof onto that one. Well left by Wayne Price.
Tigers are disrupted by the fact that Darren Shaw should have been playing at hooker today, but his wife is expecting a baby, so he has been left behind in Castleford, which means that Fritz has come out of the second row to hooker, and Harlan's come off the bench to the second row for Fritz, and Jonathan Goddard joins the other teenager, Wayne Godwin, on the bench. So a little bit of disruption late on to the Tigers' plans.
Yeah, but in this day and age, Eddie, I just can't believe that even on a cold day, it's a long trip down from the north of London.
Pushed in. Right, you've made the tackle, he's on the ground, you've pushed over as well. Right, there goes the push.
Went over the top, did Scott Cram, didn't miss, but wasn't penalised for that. And a little second go at it afterwards. There he goes, went for the push. Once the tackle has been completed. Just a lack of discipline, it's crept into this London side this year.
That's a good kick. It's taken Castleford to deep within the London territory. Fritz will restart here. Misses outside, finds Lennon. Lennon's pass then to Healy. Healy on then to Jason Flowers. And Dimmock working well in defence. Price to Michael Eager. Well, if the Broncos are delighted to see Barnett back in the side, Castleford are thrilled that Eager is fit for the closing stage of this season. That's a good ball from Lennon to Smith, and a good tackle by Nigel Roy.
Did the right thing. Smith's such a big man, one of the best offloaders in the game. And Nigel Roy made sure that he went ball and all, and it was a successful tackle.
It's Mark Lennon who disappears under 3. Fritz to Healy, and it goes wide, and almost an opportunity then for John Roper. Sampson was the dummy half then. Healy under pressure, gets the kick in. It's claimed though by Dimmock. And a quick play the ball from London. Fleming's away. Offside.
Never made any attempt to get back.
If you'd let him go, you'd have been okay, but you got involved.
And the big fella Nathan Sykes, one of the culprits.
Come on, fellas.
Well, again, we see a poor kick from the Tigers. So he was under a lot of pressure, that is for sure, from Millard. But it was taken with consummate ease by the standoff Jim Dimmock. That's something that must be worrying Graham Steadman, the Tigers coach. 4 poor kicks in the space of 8 minutes.
Glenair to Fleming again. Someone else coming back into the side. Substitute last week. He'd missed the previous 11. So they're gradually getting their star names back, and here is Nigel Roy. Roper stood his ground, and with help there from Mitch Healy, Nigel Roy's run is halted. Dimmock, inside it comes to Scott Cram. They're 10 metres away now on the last tackle from the Castleford line, the Broncos.
Surely it'll be another grubber.
It's with Moran, he's gone for Barnett. He's found at Fleming. The ball was flicked out wide, and it's the turnover.
Well, it touched the Castleford player, but the ball played the man. Stuart Cummings has got it right. You see that Barnett whips it out wide, and Fleming tried to offload, even though it did contact a Castleford player. As I mentioned, it was the ball that played him, not the man playing the ball.
There's Jason Hetherington of the London Broncos. Boy, they have missed him. He's back from an operation, and they hope that they'll have him back in the fold at the Broncos within the next few weeks. So all the big names are coming back, and London, with this perceived easier run-in to the end of the season, they're in a pretty good shape here to launch a bid for the 5.
No, he hasn't played
And
it,
not
he
only
hasn't
that,
played
the
it.
ball has played the man yet again. You could hear the official Stuart Cummings shouting out to the Castleford players. That is wonderful defence. Now, having said that, obviously, you miss a man of the calibre of Hetherington, but
40-20.
once Tony Ray put into the hooking role, Glenn Eyre, he's made a wonderful job of it.
Go on, fellas, you're all inside.
Paul Sykes, one of two youngsters on loan from the Bradford Bulls. What an impact these two have made, Sykes and Parker.
Okay, Nathan, stand up.
10 minutes gone, 6-0, the Broncos are ahead.
They've been a revelation, I'll tell you. The London Broncos were, well, they were out for the count. People said that that was it, no chance making the 5. And they have dug deep.
3.
And full credit to the coach, Tony Ray. Eddie, he was under a lot of pressure, but he kept his cool. And they're still in with a chance.
That was a great little run from Parker.
Stand up with the ball.
He's penalised, though, for not playing the ball properly.
Get on your feet first.
Well, these silly mistakes.
Stand up. Play the ball.
Well,
Could have gone one way or the other.
I think that's a bit pedantic from Stuart Cummings. I think Tony Ray may agree with me. If looks could K-I-double-L. He could have gone either way.
Yes, it could easily, but Castleford get the nod from Stuart Cummings. Mitch Healy deposits the penalty into touch again.
Well, London will be disappointed with this, that they have not gone even further on the scoreboard, because it's quite obvious that Castleford is struggling from the bus trip.
Wait.
They have not got into the swing of things at all, and yet they're only 6 points behind.
And attacking the London line here with Dean Sampson, who celebrated 400 appearances for Castleford Tigers just last week. A terrific record for the 34-year-old. Only the 4th man in history to make 400 appearances for the Tigers. This is Dale Fritz. That was a fine tackle low down by Barnett. And Michael Smith fancies it. But Michael Smith is hauled back by sheer weight of numbers, but he's still going.
He's held up. That's good work. They couldn't keep him in the field of play, and there's a few words spoken there, and I think it came from the mouth of Shane Millard. Now it's still moving, so if it's moving, then the referee doesn't have to call held. The official got it right, and I'm afraid Millard looking not to be penalised on that occasion.
It's head and feet to Castleford, of course, from the scrum. Here is Jason Flowers. Good job that Rexless was there. He'd slipped the first net. Healy gets it away to Harland, and Harland, well, he was down a blind alley there.
Well, he was looking for support, and there was none forthcoming.
Vowles, Nathan Sykes, taken low down by Millard and finished off up top by Fleming. Roper's gone in at dummy half, fires the ball into the arms of Lennon. Lennon will attack the line, give it then to Healy. Healy looks for support, there it is. Jason Flowers.
Good tackle by Cram.
Great pressure here, though, from the Tigers. Healy and Vowles. And this is the last. Can Castleford get over the line? They're desperate to. Healy, little dab kick. And Millard is there, but they're going to get 6 more attempts, are the Tigers. That was a smashing kick from Mitch Healy.
Well, this will be the 3rd set of 6 on the row. And it was a wonderfully weighted kick from the standoff. And that's a damn fine dropout.
Well, it was, and Jason Flowers actually was jogging back towards his own post. It sailed over his shoulder. He wasn't waiting for it, but he's turning this into a great run.
Well, he certainly made up for it. And Graham Steadman knows that they are still on the bus.
Dennis, come on.
Price.
2. Dennis,
Well, maybe that'll lift their
no, you won't.
lift their spirits. That run from Flowers.
Sampson.
As Eddie mentioned, that really was poor play from the full-back.
Fritz's pass to Eager is on the bounce. And Eager just stays in the field of play. Wayne Price. And Sykes has put it down, yes.
Well, I think Sykes is looking at his colleague saying, hang on, I was supposed to be the dummy runner.
He's breaking up again, mate.
And he just had to turn for it. There was Sampson and Eager coming on the second phase. As I say, Eddie, Graham Steadman will be pleased that it's only 6 points that they're behind.
Well, the Broncos won at Warrington last Saturday to breathe life into the challenge. 33-28 it was. but they have claimed only 2 home Super League victories against the Tigers. But here's a chance for the Frenchman Hules. He's kicking and he's been taken out. Now what's the referee's decision going to be here?
Well, will the touch judge come on and he'll just put the scrum down? He says that the man was committed. Oh, he wants to have a look. He wants to see if it's a 40-20, and you know, I think it is. I think that Stuart Cummins, in all this sort of furor there, had just sort of let that slip. That's his memory box. And this is a 40-20. Little doubt about it. So it will be head and feed the other way around. He's inside. Inside by a mile.
Yeah, there's the 40 just going through the back of the screen now.
And he's already appealing to the official. Well, either way, it would have been a penalty where the ball finished up. So they will get position and possession.
Hules looks at the screen, and it is a scrum to the attack. Well done, Stuart Cummings. He made up his mind and then thought, well, hang on, I better just check this out. Because originally he'd given the head and feed to Castleford.
Now that's at one time, it's good to have the microphone in his ear.
Barnett. Good run from Barnett.
Great dummy.
And very good tackle from Flowers. Dimmock. And here is Millard and Retchless. Retchless, who scored the famous try for the Broncos in the Cup semi-final that took them to Wembley. This is Cram! And Cram's over the line, but has he got it down?
I don't think so.
Okay, fellas.
It's another decision for the video referee.
It was held up, but I can't see from the other side.
He certainly got over, did the big fella, Cram. That was good running. And that is wonderful work from Mitch Healy. Mitch Healy went on to that football as though it was Olympic mine. You ain't getting that down, boy. And he still can't get it down. Wonderful work from Healy. And also helped by the big fella, Michael Smith. This will be head and feed to the Broncos. Held up.
Scrum attack, that's the decision. He was held up over the line early in the count. So scrum feed to the Broncos again. From almost exactly the same position. And here they come again, and Dimmock looks this time for Fleming, who tries to step inside. He gets the ball away to Dimmock, and Dimmock passed it to the touch judge.
Well, Dimmock thought that the winger should have been outside. And I'm afraid he wasn't.
Okay.
Big opportunity missed there. Paul Sykes had gone back on the inside.
So a bit of an escape for the Tigers, but full marks to them. Great defence to have the ball held up over the line. Initially. Here is Michael Smith now for them. It's a really hot night here in the capital, and I can tell you something, as the Tigers get a penalty because Nigel Roy was holding on. The players will lose a few pounds tonight. If they were topping the scales as heavyweights before this, they might be just down a rank or two come 8 o'clock.
Hardly featherweights, Eddie, but yes, I do agree with that. And the fitness levels will play a big part, especially in the last 15 minutes.
Wait for his foot.
And that's why I'm sure London are a little bit peeved that they've not scored more against the Castleford side that really hasn't got into the swing of it, even though they've had possession.
Well, they're getting to the pace of the match gradually now. This is Michael Smith. The good tackling in defence again. Roy and Cram. And Fritz goes down the blind side and finds John Roper. Hules doing well, Moran.
Well, they certainly have the creative players of the Tigers. Mitch Healy, Mark Lennon.
And there is Lennon, and that's a high kick out wide. And is it going to be too deep? It's well claimed. Well claimed by Paul Sykes, which uses it in the in-goal area.
Great take. In the wrong position just a few moments ago when Jim Dimmock thought he was passing the ball to him. And he certainly saved a try there. Well, I must say, this London side came out with well, a lot of enthusiasm. They were swinging the ball from side to side. And as Eddie has already mentioned, the Tigers have dug deep. They scrambled back and stopped them.
Mestrov to Millard, and he turns the ball back, and that was just a little bit telegraphed.
Well, very flat in attack. It seems to be creeping into our game quite a lot with not just a few teams, but nearly all the teams playing this flat line.
Oh, that's a
back
mistake.
to 6.
Price has knocked it back.
Offside. That'll be a penalty. Certainly came off the head of Wayne Price. Now that's a deliberate penalty. I've seen them go over 10 minutes in the scene for that. Well, I thought it was the head, it was the chest from Price. Either way, it certainly came off the left winger. And Haaland, who came up with a mistake with only 7 seconds of this game gone, which led to the Fleming try. And he deliberately went for that football to try to stop any advantage going towards the Broncos. And it surprises me, perhaps, that Stuart Cummings, one of our experienced referees, hasn't gone to the back pocket and said, professional foul, go and spend 10 in the sin.
Don't just lie doing nothing.
Always plenty to say, hasn't he, Mr. Cummings?
Paul Sykes with the penalty then. +5 at fullback, playing today on the wing, left-footed, and no problems from that range. The 19-year-old has added 2 more points to London's total. It's 8-0.
Well, they couldn't really drop him, Eddie, because he's done a fine job in the absence of Richie Barnett.
I wonder if Tony Ray, there's Graham Stedman, who looks just a little bit concerned, the Castleford coach, but I wonder if his opposite number, Tony Ray, will have put a call into Brian Noble and the Bradford Bulls to ask for an extension on Sykes and Parker's loan period.
Well, the word is that this is the last game for Paul Sykes. He'll be supposedly on his way back. He was only signed for the 1-month loan, but I must say he's acquitted himself exceptionally well.
Well, Castleford had Simon Lewis on loan for 4 games from Bradford recently, and Bradford took him back after the loan spell was finished, so we'll see.
40-20.
Moran.
Well, obviously the Bulls have done their bit for charity. They now get on to the business side of rugby league football. I guess yesterday Brian Noble, he knows that it's going to take a good effort, especially watching the way that Wigan played yesterday, Eddie. He knows they've got to be in top form to beat them.
This is Haaland now. He plays the ball to Fritz, who finds Sampson, who in turn finds Bowles. And Bowles, good backing up here from Eager, but he lost the ball then. Now, did Cram knock it out, or was it a knock-on by Eager? I think it's a knock-on given against Eager.
Good offload by Bowles, yeah, just lost control of it. A little bit ring rusty, Michael Eager. I suppose you could say the same about Richie Barnett, and let's not forget that Michael Gillette is back from injury. He's on the bench for the Broncos tonight. So for once, Tony Ray can boast a little bit of depth in his side.
Adrian Bind into the ball's out.
Moran fires the pass out wide, and Nigel Roy spins and turns. And in the end, it takes a couple to bring him. Young Wayne Godwin has come on for Lee Haaland. Godwin, who is a hooker. Millard, though, has dropped the ball.
Well, it's becoming a bit of a habit. That's
Here we go. Scrum.
a mistake, and also the point that they're giving away 2 silly penalties of the Broncos. They're becoming their own worst enemy on occasion, and all those 3 very early in the tackle count.
6 handling errors, and Castleford have made 4 of them. That was the second from the Broncos. That's why Eagers got possession here, midway inside their half of the field. Vowles the dummy half. It's now with Lennon, and wide it goes to Mitch Healy, and Jason Flowers is turned on his back and dumped into the ground. Godwin the dummy half. Sampson does well, gets the ball away. Here's Lennon again. Good support here from Michael Smith. And he had young Godwin lurking there on his shoulder, but couldn't get the ball away. So Godwin at dummy half to Vowles, off the chest of Lennon, and London have it back.
A little bit too hard from the skipper. Went like a rocket. Poof.
I don't think it was actually meant for Lennon, was it?
It was.
Straight into his face.
Quite lucky that Lennon didn't take that, because it would have been a heck of a collision. But far too strong there from Vowles. Both sides getting into good positions, but that's a 40-20. Will it bend?
No, it's come back in the field of play. Flowers will run it back then. Glenair. And that's the tackle completed on Flowers. Away goes Wells. Let's go down to the sideline. Let's see what Phil is making of this. Got the suntan oil on, Phil?
Yeah, you certainly need it. Very, very hot on the sideline, but it was a sleepy, lethargic start, I thought, from the Tigers. Just starting to find their way back into the game, and perhaps rather worryingly for London. I do think when they get the passes to stick, they seem to have now got a momentum up and attacking both on the left and right hand flanks. But from the Broncos, well, they've really toughened up, haven't they, since we've last seen them play. Last week at Warrington, showed their resilience in defence. They've been tested a couple of times today, but they've been up to it so far, and they more or less said to their opponents, if you're going to have to score against us, you'll have to do something special.
The kick downfield was fielded by Sykes. Eager was all over him.
I think Eager gave him one for his corner too.
This is Barnett. Richie Barnett has broken the first line of defence.
Well, now then, was the Frenchman held back? Poules.
Nigel Roy. Poules still hangs on.
He did well then. They always lost it. I got the impression that the Frenchman was being held back. Well, they all hesitated there. They thought the referee Cummings was going to blow up the whistle.
Here we go.
And he just squeezed it out. Good work from John Wells. Good pressure.
So the Tigers back in possession here with Dean Sampson.
But I thought he was held back when Barnett made the initial bust.
Lennon's ball was back to Michael Smith. London swarming around the ball carrier in defence, and it's Vowles who's the ball carrier now. A little dab through the gap. Sykes has picked it up, but he won't get back into the field of play. That's a great chase. Wayne Price and young Godwin, Wayne Godwin.
Wonderful kick from the experienced Adrian Vowles. This is the break from Barnett now. Keep your eye on the right-hand side. Yeah, there's a bit of a grab on the jumper there. Mitch Healy, I think, was interfering with the Frenchman. And when Poules came for the second bite, he took a dodgy pass, but it just squeezed out.
Second goal line dropout from London. It's arrived in the arms of Michael Smith. So back come the Tigers. This is their most intense pressure of the match in Castleford. Can they make something of it? Flowers. 26 minutes gone. Lennon and Vowles. And not the best pass. Wayne Price had to stretch forward to get that. And hands on the head. Vowles knows it wasn't one of his copybook best.
They may come up with a different terminology, and maybe Wayne Price may do also. And it really is a stop-start affair. Both sides seem to be quite creative until they get what the Australians call the red attacking zone, and then they just go to water, both sides.
Maybe a touch of cramp there for Michael Smith.
To be fair though, we did say just as they're about to kick off that in these hot, humid conditions, handling might be very difficult, and I think it's proven to be that way.
Moran to Cram. I beg your pardon, it's Dooley, that is it? Yes, it is. Justin Dooley, just on.
He's got a new hairstyle.
He has.
Catching on, isn't it?
Glenair on halfway. Plays it to Millard. Here now is Moran to Dimmock. Dimmock round the corner to Fleming. A break on here for London. Retros on his inside. Over the top to Moran. Back on the ground. And Michael Smith just drops on it.
Well, they bombed it. Bombed a definite try there. Was a wonderful piece of skill from Jim Dimmock through the dummy and made the pass. Look at this, back on the inside. Fleming. And then it was a poor pass from Dennis Moran in the end. Well, this could have been anything like 20-odd points in front for the Broncos. I think we're relieved, Graham Steadman. I think he'll be concerned, Tony Ray, at the moment. I don't think 8 points is going to be enough.
Well, not with Castleford having the record that they have got here, and that is a 40-20. A great 40-20 kick by Mitch Healy. This will be head and feed to the Tigers at this scrum.
He wants to have a look.
His foot was between the two lines.
Well, actually, he was commenting to me before this match that the lines are difficult to see at ground level, Stuart Cummings. I think he's actually, that second dotted line on the left there, well, that is the 40-metre mark.
Well, the non-kicking foot is on the whitewash. Well, it's not on the whitewash, actually, because it's a broken line, so... but you know what I mean. Scrum attack.
Yes. Chances here then for Castleford Tigers. Stuart Cummings, by the way, today telling me he's making his 345th first-team appearance as a first-grade referee. And Castleford have blown the opportunity.
Well, again, so early in the tackle count, and Graham Steadman has every right to just look down in absolutely disgust. Some of these passes from the Tigers, well, I don't know what they've been eating this week, but they've got plenty of beef. Oh, nice offload from Cram.
Good hands. Oh, but not such good hands there from Parker.
Dean, it wasn't. Dean.
Well, Parker tried to offload, and he's paid the price. See? You can't blame Sykes for reefing the ball out, because he didn't. It was Parker who was trying to keep the ball alive. So much panic from both sides.
Well, maybe it's because it's a cup tie in every sense of the phrase, this.
Well, I think you can safely say.
Well, both sides regard this as a must-win night.
Of course, if they lose, I think they can say bye-bye to the 5, even though both coaches will disagree.
Eager doing well, but the pass wasn't the best. And Price, but he did well to retain possession for his side. Healy's the dummy half. Now it's with Flowers.
And I know with the fact that Castleford, of course, they have the more difficult of the running to the end of the season. I'm sure that the league's players will be hoping and cheering on their fellow players, shall we say, just down the road from Headingley.
And Scott Cram has got problems. This is Healy, and it's now with Lennon. Ball back on the inside. Now then, Healy with another intelligent kick. This is an invitation to Price. They've claimed it, but is Sykes over the try line? No.
He got it in the field of play, and his feet was still in the field of play. Good decision by the official. And they obviously feel that Paul Sykes is a weak link in this London side. They've been peppering the winger.
Glenair. Ball inside to Nigel Roy.
Well, both sides are trying very hard, trying to create the gap, and when they do, they're going for a 40-20.
And they went on very early in the tackle count, but that's out on the full. Well, they kicked early all last week at Warrington, you may remember, and it came off for them in the end. But that sailed out on the full.
Well, of course, the reason why they do that, as you can see quite clearly, is that the wingers, they don't drop back normally until it's the 4th and 5th play the ball.
And it's very easy yards, Steve-O, as well on a night like this.
Well, it is, yeah. The tactics are right, providing that it bounces in the field of play. But if ever the game needed a try, I think this is it.
This is Lennon. Hounded in defence. Healy. And Dale Fritz trying to get to his feet. And injured there was Dale Fritz. Dean Sampson does brilliantly well. Quick hands from Eager. Price. Well claimed by Sykes. Eager again.
Well, we saw a typical example there. Wayne Price, he never regained his feet before playing the football.
This is Nathan Sykes. Godwin to Lennon. Little dab through. Still on the last. This is Roper.
Great scramble in defence yet again. That's one thing that London can be pleased about. Graham Steadman probably feeling that now at long last the Tigers getting back into the flow of this game. Ricochet didn't get the lucky bounce that they needed. Certainly a game idea of missed opportunities.
Yes, it's tight, and the reason it is because the stakes are so high. Moran looking to kick again here. No, he gives it instead to Richie Barnett. Barnett, those long legs of him, but they can't get around the outside of Iga.
He's one of the best defenders in Super League.
That's a good ball. This is Toshak, that's even better. Sykes, he's got Retzless.
Has he got the speed?
He doesn't need it. Glenair. That's a fine London try. Glenair with a try. They made the initial break and they flooded forward in support. Glenair gets over for try number 6. 2 last week at Warrington. Followed that up with 1 here today. And the try that Steve-O was calling for has arrived.
Good quick hands. It was a good play the ball as well. Back on the inside, Sykes. Retzless. I thought he wouldn't have the speed. He didn't need to. Glenair, as every hooker should do, just came flying down on the angle. Retzless the offload. Oh, that was good play. Kept his cool in the winger. Retzless away. Air back on the inside. Classic try. Good teamwork. And boy, the game needed that.
6 tries for Glenair in those 5 games. So he's in great form, as Steve-O said, filling in at hooker for Jason Hetherington. And here's Paul Sykes again. Formerly with the Thornhill Amateur Club. That's a club that is a prodigious finder of talent. And Sykes, this should be fairly easy despite his tender age. And it is. It's 14-0. And London look like maintaining their push for the top 5.
Good work there.
Having said that, just 2 wins in the last 8 games for London.
To say they had so many injuries, they had to dig deep. You mentioned Sykes from Thornhill. I lived there for about 15 years of my tender youth.
I wouldn't have thought your youth had ever been tender.
A little bit of a hint of a knock-on there from Glenair. Got away with it, perhaps. Well, Tony Ray will be somewhat better pleased with that effort, and it was a fine effort indeed. Good support play. The Tigers got caught out with a quick play of the ball, and again, a bit suspect now on this left-hand side or right-hand side as London are attacking.
Yes, London looking to turn the screw towards half-time. The kick from Dimmock is fielded, though, by Wells.
Right, tackle 1. Go on, Jim.
Well, the idea was good, but good positioning there by Wells.
Here comes Jason Flowers now.
And 2.
Without a Castleford try for 2 months, but he did get 2 tries for the Scots against France in the recent international.
Quite a few times this year, London have looked to be controlling the game, going in at half-time, and then, non-surprisingly, they've just relaxed and they allowed the opposition back into the match within the final minute. Oh, that's bad play there by the big fella, Michael Smith.
And it was dropped on gratefully by Toshak. On halfway, back come the Broncos, and Glenair has found another hole. Jason Flowers with a good tackle, though.
Good work from Nathan Sykes as well. He made sure that he got in between. Oh, wonderful break.
Barnett did ever so well then. Quick hands. Fleming. Oh, it's gone backwards, has it?
Knock on the first one. They bombed it. Beautiful set piece.
Well,
Fleming.
Barnett came running in to take that pass from way, way back.
Well, the pass from Glenair wasn't a good one. They had 3-on-1. And he knows it too, but what a wonderful set pattern there that brought in the fullback Richie Barnett. He adds an extra dimension, doesn't he, this fullback?
Calm down, calm down.
Not a young chappie, into his 30s already is Richie, but before the injury, He was one of the superstars of Super League this year, Eddie. And I think he's getting quickly back into his stride.
Fritz with the pass wasn't the best. Michael Smith has picked it up. He then offloads it to Nathan Sykes. It's a bit one out at the moment for the Castleford Tigers. 14-0 Broncos ahead. 2 minutes to half-time. Bowles in possession for the Tigers. And here is Dean Sampson. Still going strong and showing his strength there. Terrific play. Godwin. On it goes to Healy. And Healy looks for the winger out wide, and it's Wells. And Wells has claimed it ahead of Hules, but Hules did well.
And it's a knock-on. He lost it. He pinched it off Wells. Wells took it first. The Frenchman took it away and then lost control. Well, he did everything right. Now then, was Wells onside? That's what he wants to have a look at, or does he? Well, we will anyway. And I think he's onside, so that's okay.
Let's go, fellas.
Wells takes it. Hules says, nice take. Then I will. And then he just scrambles. Well, maybe he doesn't.
As soon as you stand up,
I thought he lost it. Not so sure on that replay.
Well, the referee has to make a split-second decision, and you can see where he was coming from with that. Michael Smith, Godwin's in at dummy half, 5 metres away, Sykes.
Well, will London suffer another sucker punch?
This is the big fellow Sampson to Price, who's in. They will suffer the sucker punch.
Forward pass. Oh, that's a big call there from Cummins. He's claimed that the final pass from Sampson has gone forward. Oh, I'm not so sure. Oh, how on earth can he give that?
They've been robbed.
Have they ever? Now, whether his feet trailed over, how can he...
Come on back, come on back.
Well, we think now we're hearing him, and he has. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Mr. Cummings. He ruled the knock-on, and he's absolutely right. They haven't been robbed.
Oh, I thought the arms went forward as a forward pass. Either way. Whoa, that was close. It was a good effort there by Wayne Price.
Well, we have to put the record straight there. Mr. Cummings was absolutely right.
Was he ever?
And we're now just around about at half-time with Retchless. And he just couldn't get away from Lennon and Sampson. Well, Graham Stedman makes his way into the dressing rooms, knowing his men are behind. It will be a difficult half-time talk from him, but it'll be easier for Tony Ray. 14-0, London are ahead. Castleford haven't penetrated that London defence. Fleming and Eyre with the tries, Sykes with 3 goals. And this really is a match that is virtually a playoff for those playoffs, because whoever loses this can just about almost certainly kiss goodbye to their chances. But at half-time with a 14-0 lead, London, well, they are in the driving seat. Retchless just didn't have the legs to get over the line, but Glen Eyre did. That was the second of the London tries, and the Broncos go in ahead by 14 points at half-time.
Tonight, a huge night of world title boxing. Danny Williams faces his nemesis Julius Francis, the rematch for the British and Commonwealth heavyweight title. Then, live from the States, 3 world title fights, including 2 of boxing's biggest stars, Roy Jones,
I'm a bad man.
Eric Morales. 4 title fights, 1 big night, tonight at 10 on Sky Sports Extra.
For £39, you and your partner can join RAC. A to B, we RAC to it. Call 0800 7700 99.
Señoras y señores, la carrera está por comenzar. Aprobado. En su marcha. ¡Listo! ¡Listo!
load film, 3 different picture sizes, and an index print. Picture taking with the new Kodak Advantix cameras. It's really that simple.
The new movie, High Heels and Low Life, is a great night out for the girls.
Off to the cinema, a few drinks afterwards, and then good night clubbing.
High Heels and Low Life. Go and see it now.
This man helped my son through leukemia.
This wonderful person saved the life of a very dear friend of mine.
This man helped my baby's son overcome a serious bowel condition.
Do something amazing. Give blood.
Big. Now this really is big. A big bag with a big CD-ROM. It's got a big game of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Junior, a big exclusive interview, and big tracks from big bands like Bardot and Sugar Babes. Now they're big. Big food, big CD-ROM, big bag. So you get your big bag and take a big step into the big wide world. And then leave with a big smile.
The taller I become, no matter cause.
But really